Ladies and gentlemen, good evening and welcome back to our channel once again. And it is my hope and prayer that the video is going to find you guys in good health. Personally, I am fine, as you can see. Kisumu is fantastic. And maybe you could also let me know where you're watching the video from. The county or the country, in case you are out of the republic. And for this particular video, kindly just let me know in the comment section the specific county you are watching us from. Ladies and gentlemen, Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki was officially sworn into office yesterday as the third Deputy President of the Republic of Kenya. And the question which most Kenyans are now asking is whether Kindiki can actually change the tide in favor of William Ruto, especially and particularly in Mount Kenya. Because you all know that in 2022, William Ruto's game plan was very simple. Consolidate Rift Valley and then win overwhelmingly in the mountain. And William Ruto won overwhelmingly in the mountain. William Ruto garnered, was it 87% of the votes from the mountain. But after the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua, the tide has actually turned against William Ruto to an extent that if elections were to be held today in the mountain, William Ruto will just struggle with reaching around 20%. And of course, you all know that William Ruto is now working with Raila Odinga, which can cover for him the loss from the mountain. But the question remains, can Kindiki change the tide in favor of William Samoei Arap Ruto? For us to understand that, I want us to try very briefly and analyze the swearing-in ceremony of Professor Abraham Kithure Kindiki before we get into whether Kindiki can actually change the tides. Number one, during yesterday's swearing-in ceremony, something was very clear. The presence of the Chief Justice. When Rigathi Gachagua was filing his petition or the case, at some point, the Chief Justice was required to empanel the judges. The Chief Justice was nowhere to be seen. The person who ended up forming that panel was none other than the Deputy Chief Justice, Philemona Mwilu. For those who followed this impeachment and the swearing-in ceremony, the court, the High Court, some things are very funny in the Republic of Kenya. The High Court set aside the conservatory orders that was blocking the swearing-in of Kithure Kindiki a day like today. The next day, swearing-in was taking place. And my question is, was the judiciary just ready? The Chief Justice and all others, were they just ready for the swearing-in ceremony? For me, Martha Koome played games and played balls with the government. Otherwise, they would have been pushed for another date. Because remember, the courts made a decision today. Tomorrow's swearing-in ceremony. And that same tomorrow was a holiday. The availability of the judiciary in this matter, unless they played along, you can't convince me otherwise. Otherwise, they would have said, okay, let's swear in Kindiki, but not tomorrow, the day after tomorrow. The other thing which I also observed was the loud absence of Ndindi Nyoro and the loud presence of Kimani Ichung'wah. Two things. Number one, Kimani Ichung'wah is going to play a key role for William Ruto. And I suspect that Kimani Ichung'wah might actually be appointed as the cabinet secretary for interior for sole reason of dealing with Rigathi Gachagua and his allies. But importantly, Ndindi Nyoro is being removed from William Ruto's inner circles, or is removing himself. And because of that, I see an opportunity for Rigathi Gachagua to work with Ndindi Nyoro. And for me, that would be a lethal ticket or a lethal combination in the mountain, and will easily lock William Ruto out of the mountain. The third thing which also caught my attention was William Ruto's message to Kenyans, and particularly to Kindiki. There was a point Ruto made it very clear that there are things he missed for 2 good years. And Kindiki affirmed that he will be loyal to the president.
My dear Professor Kindiki, I need your voice. I need your intellect to help me and to help members of our cabinet to profile the things we are doing, to speak to the things that we are doing. I have almost become a lonely voice in the executive, especially in the presidency, speaking about our projects, speaking about our programs, elaborating on what we are doing. You are eloquent, my brother. You are intelligent, my brother. I am confident that you will do that which I have missed for the last 2 years. I know you will. We have a huge program.
I was born 52 years ago in one of the remotest parts of Kenya. But because Kenya is the land and the homeland of possibilities, today I, perhaps the most unlikely person, is standing here today because Kenya has made it possible for anybody to become anything in this country. I don't take it for granted. I promise you, before this congregation and before God, that I will not let you down for the privilege you have given me.
So if William Ruto had suffered in the hands of Rigathi Gachagua for 2 good years, then why blame Raila Odinga for the impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua? Because let's face it, the broad-based government, or some people call it bread-based government, started the other day. Ruto talked of these problems. He missed them 2 good years. But the question remains, can Kindiki succeed in turning the tide in favor of William Ruto in the mountain? That's exactly what I want us to analyze in this video. But before I do that, for those who are watching this channel for the first time, please take a second or two, click that subscribe button so that next time we produce a video like this, YouTube will automatically notify you. And to the subscribers, I want to continue thanking you guys for your continued support. Because without that support, this channel cannot be where it is. Ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, allow me to dive in. But again, before I dive in, it would be unfair to fail to thank the following people. You're seeing their names there on the screen for the coffee which they sent to me earlier today. It goes a long way in supporting this channel. You can also do the same using the numbers you are seeing there. A cup of coffee only goes for 200, but you can do more. Ladies and gentlemen, can Kindiki change the tide in favor of William Ruto in the mountain? Because as things stand today, William Ruto is actually a persona non grata in the mountain. And just like I predicted, you will not see William Ruto in the mountain anytime soon. Maybe attending a funeral, but you won't see William Ruto in the mountain for some time. But can Kindiki, now being the deputy president, change the tides? Several factors will be at play. Number one is whether Kindiki will actually be able to unite the mountain. Because William Ruto committed a mistake When he started propping up Kindiki as the successor to Rigathi Gachagua, and he realized that the mountain was for Rigathi, he strategically started a campaign of splitting the mountain into two, west or east. Sorry, west and east. And the eastern side, that is Tharaka, where Kindiki comes from, Meru, Embu, which one? The leaders from that region made it very, very clear that for them, Kindiki was going to be their link with the government, and that they were not going to recognize Rigathi Gachagua. By that time, Rigathi was still the deputy president. And I know for sure that the western side were not very happy. Let's call them the Kikuyus. The Kikuyus. They were not very happy with that. So which means for Kindiki to succeed, he must be in a position to unite the east, which he can easily do, and the west, which I doubt he can easily do. And that is where the problem lies. Already I've seen the Durun Cheke have officially endorsed Kindiki and their eastern side. I'm yet to hear the support of the Kikuyu Council of Elders. Maybe with the time, with the support of Kimani Ichung'wah, they'll be able to do that, because the western side is so hostile for the leaders who voted in favor of impeachment of Rigathi Gachagua to an extent that they cannot even step in their own constituencies. And again, if you followed the developments yesterday, there was nothing like celebrations in the mountain. I mean, there's no excitement about Kindiki's appointment. Maybe at the national level, but because politics is local, in Mount Kenya, really people are not really excited. That's number one. Will Kindiki be able to unite? I doubt if he will be able to do that. Number two, there is also something which William Ruto really preached in the mountain in the last election. The politics of deceit and betrayal. Because Uhuru entered into some handshake with Raila Odinga. And because Uhuru supported Raila. So he talked of that kind of politics loudly in the mountain as politics of deceit and betrayal. The same is now applying to him. Because in the mountain, people don't see any reason why Rigathi was impeached. So in short, they are viewing William Ruto as someone who has betrayed Rigathi Gachagua. Not only Rigathi Gachagua, but the entire mountain. So how Kindiki will be able to maneuver that politics and convince the mountain that him as Kindiki, he's been chosen on the account of his ability, strength, and qualification. Because let's face it, Kindiki, even me, if I were to pick a deputy president, I'd definitely go for Kindiki over Rigathi. But Kindiki is not taking over the roles of Rigathi under an environment which these people view as kind of betrayal of a brother, kind of deceit. So it's going to be very, very interesting watching all those developments moving forward. Number three, in my view, is Uhuru Kenyatta factor. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta as a political factor in the mountain is actually lingering all over. Uhuru Kenyatta cannot be ignored in the mountain. Will Uhuru Kenyatta lend his support to Kindiki? Because we know that Rigathi really messed up Uhuru Kenyatta. So if Kindiki can win the support of the Kenyattas, to some extent he might succeed. But Uhuru Kenyatta is fighting with William Ruto. He's waiting for his day to revenge. Which means he might not support Kindiki. In that case, he's going to join hands with Rigathi Gachagua. If that were to happen, the mountain is still going to be totally against anything in the name of William Ruto. So we'll be monitoring very closely to see whether Kindiki, because you know Kindiki's character is a bit different from that of Ruto and that of Rigathi. So maybe we will try to reach out to the Kenyattas, because that's another thing. So if he'll be able to do that, then we'll change the tide. But without that, I doubt. Then there is also the fourth thing, which I call the development perception. You see, Uhuru Kenyatta was painted by William Ruto as someone who delivered nothing to the people of the mountain. That he took all their development projects and delivered to the people of Nyanza. So far, the people of the mountain are regretting why they bought that, because the project which Uhuru Kenyatta left are still pending. So right now, they're saying, okay, kumbe Uhuru Kenyatta really developed our region. We just didn't support him. And the other challenge with that development perception is that it might actually land Kindiki also into problems. Because remember, one of the grounds why Rigathi was impeached was because of the fighting for Murima. Apana guza Murima. Nothing else. And Rigathi emerged as a defender of the mountain. And that's why yesterday I explained to you in one of my videos, when he changed his bios on Facebook and Twitter or X, when he was facing the mountain, that photo, that he was telling the mountain that have been kicked out for fighting for your rights. So the question is, can Kindiki deliver development projects which Uhuru Kenyatta left? Can he do things which are going to work in favor of the mountain? The mountain believes so well, and rightly so, that they are business people. Can Nyamakema traders, Kamkunji traders, go back to the era of Uhuru Kenyatta? Can they start seeing the benefits of voting for William Ruto's government? Can Kindiki do certain things in a way that will favor them? And if he will be able to do that, then the tide will definitely change. And lastly, there is also the elephant in the room. And I believe this is why someone like Ndindi Nyoro is sitting on the fence. Mount Kenya 2032 political interest. Kindiki must convince the mountain that is going to deliver back the presidency to them. And the mountain must be convinced that Kindiki can actually deliver the presidency back to them. If not, the mountain will be planning or plotting on their own political interest post William Ruto, if not in 2027. So which means they must prepare someone for the presidency. And that's why I keep on saying that someone like Ndindi Nyoro stands a better chance. And maybe that's why Ndindi Nyoro is sitting on the fence, so that he can easily emerge and the mountain will support him. Ladies and gentlemen, I doubt, in conclusion, whether Kindiki will be able to change the tide in favor of William Ruto in the mountain. But of course, definitely, his appointed is assuring Kenyans, because Rigathi was not a Kenyan. Rigathi was projecting himself more like a Mount Kenya leader, not a Kenyan leader. Ladies and gentlemen, until next time, this is Lee Makwiny. Bye-bye.